Let's try to read some algorithms. That's right. Let's talk about four different sports. We're going to talk about Thursday games. We're going to talk about Friday preview of games in three of those sports. And we're going to do it really fast. Here we go. Football. What happened Thursday night? The Rams did beat the Raiders in a close one. All you have to do is change the magnifier to 3.5 and predict a really defensive game, and you get this game pretty much exactly. Right? 17.34 to 17 point. Wow, this is really a close one. This was down to like a thousandth of a or 10,000th or something of a point that we thought they would win. I didn't watch the game, paid any attention. It's tough to get NFL radio if you don't pay for it anymore. I just decided I wasn't going to pay for it anymore, not even be tempted. But wow, that's funny. So there you go. Football. Kind of algorithm pulls off a weird one. This is what the prediction was. A magnifier of 5, that they would win barely by a point, and they won by a point. All right, what are you gonna do? All right, so that's football. Next, let's close out of football. Not hockey. Let's go college basketball. Let's not look at Friday yet. Let's look at Thursday. What happened? Well, one thing I said in the video worked out, which is Colorado was the pick of the day. They crushed it. They actually won by the most points, except for Utah winning over Jacksonville State, which had to cover 14.5. Apparently, they had no problem doing that. But our algorithm said no, actually, on the points on that big one anyway. But with Colorado, it worked out for reasons I mentioned in the video. You go 6-1. However, the one that lost was Massachusetts, injured at 85%. And with no home bump, look at this. What happens with no home bump? You're 7-0. So how about that? And that kind of looks more reasonable. But you probably just wouldn't play this game because it's an away team that's healthier. It's just kind of like the line wasn't that great anyway. And this was the original look, which I do recommend a slight home bump. So I think it's more the injuries that caused that loss. But that's a lot of winning. All right, well, let's look at Friday. Not a big slate. And of course, the odds makers basically emulating the algorithm in a lot of ways. Don't see anything juicy on here, that's for sure. And be careful of an injured Northern Iowa against McNeese because it's only at a 20% margin. That's still pretty good margin. Now they're probably going to win. So that is the preliminary look for college basketball. Let's go to NBA. NBA goes 2-1 on Thursday. Houston does not win, but Denver pulls off some late magic and wins. They win a high-scoring game. The Heat do beat the Clippers, but the Clippers covered, which is what the algorithm said. So even though it says 0-3 on spread, that's not right. Yeah, because this was less than a 7-point game. So this is actually correct that it was going to say play the Clippers because I said play the Clippers +7 in the video. And so both of those things win. So basketball, not bad. Let's look at the 9th. A lot of games. Friday. What do we have? Well, of course, there needs to be updates done to this before the games with injury reports and stuff. There is an underdog down here of Sacramento away, but the margin's bad, but because of the injuries, maybe. So that's still really, really way down there. Anything good? Nope. Well, I mean, the Knicks on top against Charlotte, against an injured Charlotte, the way it looks right now, that's not a bad line for something way up there. So that's true. Yeah, line not great here for the Raptors, who should beat the Magic. And it gets bad. So NBA doesn't really look very juicy anywhere. Lakers are hurting. It's a mess. We really need to see the injury report tomorrow. All right. Well, let's go to NHL. So what I said in the video about, if you watched the previous video, which a lot of people haven't watched it came out late, about Thursday picks. I said, you're not. I said, try to pick all the winners in hockey. You're never going to go 5-0. You're going to do it once a year. Well, apparently this was the once a year that happened because it does go 5-0 on winners. I of course said, don't play Toronto. Don't play Tampa Bay. Play Detroit because you're a fool like me. Just whatever comes out of my mouth just explodes into crap foam. Just don't listen to it. Although I did say play Winnipeg and they won, but the algorithm said play Winnipeg and they did win. And Dallas barely wins, holds on and wins here. So there you go. That's the day. It won't happen again for another year. Next, a bunch of games tomorrow with our projected goalies. Anything of interest? Anything of interest? Winnipeg over Chicago, only minus 140. Wow, this is the Rangers beat Colorado, huh? And they're favored. Wow, weird. Edmonton over Minnesota, 41%. Oh, what is this? Boston over Arizona is only minus 303. That will be like minus 450 by the end of the day. And then, yeah, that's favored. And all right, so not much. That's hockey. All right, guys. So that's my break from payroll work. I'm going back to do, gosh, what state am I on now? Maryland, but I think I got to skip over because I don't think they're ready yet. And then whatever comes after Maryland. Minnesota, I think, is what's coming up next. So lots of work to do, but that is an update, and it's funny to see exactly what I say, the opposite of it, happen all the time. And you go 5-0 in hockey, and college basketball, crushes it, almost perfect, arguably perfect, and NBA 1 and 2. But you cover the spread, and it's just, however, Houston doesn't win. Injured. They're heavily injured, though. They had a red injury number, so it means they're just not the team that they should have been anyway. And even though it gave them the margin, that's probably the reason why they didn't win. So there's your update, guys. Good luck. I hope your picks won. I hope they win on Friday. Good luck now. I predict me winning.